About an hour and a half out of Montreal is some of the most spectacular countryside you are ever going to see. Now, the area is known as Laurentians and it covers over 22,000 square kilometres. Now, during the autumn time, which is October, it is absolutely spectacular. This is Lake Ster Adel. It's a magical place where you can enjoy everything from skiing in the winter to water activities in the summer. But it's fall here that I love the most. Now, not only are the hills surrounding this beautiful lake smothered in the magnificent Canadian maples, you can also stay here in luxury at Hotel Le Chanticleer. Now, it is a luxurious resort retreat, a spa that you can just sit back and relax and enjoy this spectacular scenery.
This is one of Canada's natural treasures. It's the Canadian maple. Now, in the autumn, when the temperatures start to drop, the foliage turns from a bright green to an orange yellow and finally to a deep red. And that is Canada's national symbol.
On July 3rd, 1608, Samuel de Champlain founded a settlement in Quebec. Now, in doing so, he established what would become the first permanent French settlement in North America and one of the world's most enchanting cities. It's hard not to fall in love with Quebec City. It's the only walled city in North America, and it's much more like visiting a French village. Now celebrating its 400th birthday, it's famous for its incredible cuisine, which is influenced by its English and French history, as well as its 4 centuries of fascinating history and stunning French-inspired architecture. Now, the name Quebec comes from the Algonquin American Indian people, and it means where the river narrows, and this is the St. Lawrence River, and it's where it gets to its tightest point.
And at this point, the tide fluctuates up to 7 metres, even though we're 1,000 kilometres away from the ocean.
And it's fresh water too.
It is.
That's incredible. Now, also, the thing with Quebec itself is that it is a walled city. The wall stretches 4.6 kilometres around the outside of it.
Yeah.
And 96% of people speak French.
And I'm tipping that you and I fit into the other 4%, even though je parle un petit peu de français.
Could you maybe explain what that means?
Mate, later on I'll learn you a bit of French.
Oh, will you?
Just
You're
a little
good
bit.
Bloke. I don't care what
play
anybody
your
says
cards
about you.
right, okay?
The city streetscape is beautiful, and the narrow cobblestone streets are a pleasure to walk along, taking in the wonderful ambience and architecture. Now, one of the most incredible focal points in the city is the spectacular Fairmont Les Chateaux Frontenac, the most photographed hotel in the world. Its stunning architecture stands out above all other buildings in old Quebec City and is seen from every vantage point. Old Quebec is without doubt one of the most charming places we've been to in all of Canada. It is absolutely stunning. The old buildings and cobblestone streets here are over 400 years old, and it is absolutely stunning. One place that you do not want to miss when you come to Canada.
This site is known as the Plains of Abraham. Back in 1759, the battle for Canada was fought right here between the French and the English. Now, the French army were expecting the English to attack from over there, the east, but 4,500 Englishmen actually came up over the cliffs with 2 cannons and ambushed them from behind. The oldest trick in the book, eh? Get them from behind. Now, the battle that took just 15 minutes ended up with both generals dying, but it was that battle that gave the English control over the whole of North America in just 15 minutes, and it happened right here.
The imposing wall rampart surrounding the city covers a distance of some 4.6 kilometres and was declared an historic monument in 1957. A path complete with interpretation signs allows visitors to walk along the walls and become acquainted with the evolution of the defence system of the last fortified city in North America, as well as taking in some terrific vantage points to view the city. The view from the wall over to the historic Parliament building is spectacular. The most important historical site in Quebec City, the Parliament building is an imposing structure with its Renaissance architecture.
I love a bit of rock, Trev. Look at that.
These walls are fantastic.
Aren't they? Now, these walls were started by the French and then finished when the English came here. But when the English left, they decided to take them down just in case they wanted to come and conquer Quebec again.
You crafty Poms, you. You can't blame them, though. I tell you what, this is one of the most beautiful places we've visited in Canada. It is stunning, and I hope we get back here again soon, too.
Me too.
Driving around Canada with a hired car is so simple, and it allows you to take this all in at your leisure. Just one tip, driving here is on the right-hand side of the road, and make sure you have a valid licence with you at all times. We hired this GPS, and they start from just $9 a day. It just made getting around this beautiful country that little bit easier. Here we are, we're driving south.
Oh, that's lovely.
Albert H.G. Grey was the 4th Earl of Grey. He was also the Governor of Canada between 1904 and 1911. Now, his great claim to fame was he declared the Plains of Abraham a national park. Very progressive thing back in those days. So next time you're having a cup of tea, remember, Earl Grey was a Canadian. After the break, we'll take you back to an event that shook the world on April 15th, 1912.